fellas, welcome back to another Inters Racing League stream. We are back with some Tier 1 action at Albert Park, and not much else. Tier 3 and Tier 2 did not race this week, nor would be a break week, but NRL Grand Final next week, so Tier 1 was moved a week early. This week I'm joined by the one and only Barosif Group. How are you doing today?
Ash, doing good, mate. Yeah, keen for Tier 1 today at Albert Park. As you said, Tier 2 and Tier 3 missing this weekend. The grand finals down in Melbourne just causing a bit of havoc in terms of scheduling. So we're going to race the Tier 1 boys today, this afternoon, and next weekend will be the Tier 3 and Tier 2 to follow up. And looking forward to a good race today. It looks like dry conditions. We have a full grid bar checkered flag, the team principal for the Racing Bulls, who will be joining during qualifying. So, Ash, we do have a few reserves. I'll just knock those out of the way while I'm rambling on here. We are missing the championship leader, Websy, of course, the McLaren driver who's had a fantastic start to the season. He's actually away, and filling in for him will be PSB. Ferrari, we're actually missing GLX Cam as well this afternoon, who actually had his best race for the season last weekend. I believe he finished in P9, which was a pretty good result for him. And filling in for him today is the man fresh off the plane from Singapore. It's Tetris, who's the Tier 2 driver for Ferrari. So it'd be great to see Tetris stepping up and see what he can put on the board today. I know he's a bit of a fan of Albert Park. So in the Sauber, we're missing Chill Pill. Replacing him is the freshly signed Lil Sheldon, recently from McLaren. And Williams, we're missing Liquid Jake, but in today is returning to the grid Joshua Lee, otherwise previously known as Superchair. So there you have it, Ash. I think we've got a few guys just coming out onto track now.
Yeah, a really stacked grid today. Obviously here at Inters our grid is normally quite stacked, but a couple of the reserves we have filling in will bring even better racing, I hope at least. And I'm sure it will be a pleasure to commentate this fine evening. But for now it will be Tyler FF23 in the Aston Martin, starting his hot lap first. He is approaching the end of the final sector. So, Broseph, do you want to take us away?
Sure thing, mate. Tyler, of course, an Inters OG. From Season 1 he's been here. He was actually a Tier 1 champion back in Season 2. So, Tyler, he's just super consistent and really fast. So, it's great to see him out here today for the first lap into Turn 1 and 2. Very clean. A little bit of the curb there on the outside as he approaches one of the first hairpins. Well, kind of a hairpin anyway. Into the bit of a difficult section here. You want to make sure you get these right. Pretty easy to go over track limits there. Nice and clean through there. Absolutely no loose back in there from Tyler. Looks nice and clean on that entry as well. This is where you want to get a really nice run. Looks like he picked up a lot of speed. Not really many corners through here. Just got to keep it nice and flat. Opens up the rear wing. Using the track to his advantage here. No wasted movement at all there from Tyler. You come to expect that from the Tier 1 boys. Oh, that was just beautiful through the graveyard section there. Just so tight and clean. As he approaches, I think Turn 12 that one is. Oh, very nice. Just executing every corner here really well. Approaches 14. And again, just complete control of this car. The setup is absolutely dialed in. Beautiful exit. Foot to the floor. Tyler comes across and puts in a 1:16.1. Not a bad lap there as a banker there, Ash.
Joshua Lee immediately improving on Tyler's time by 5.5 tenths, a 1:15.59 for Joshua Lee, 16.1 for Tyler. Will Sheldon, the Tier 2 driver, finishing his push lap, slotting into third. But Aiden Riziums going first with a 1:15.558. We thought a 1:16.1 was good for a banker. Look at some of the 15.5s that are being set. Aiden Riziums, as I just mentioned, sitting at the top, followed closely by Joshua Lee. It seems like we have a Mercedes coming to the line. That will be Aussie 2K Goat finishing off his lap. ERS set a line for him, and it is a 16.484 as the Racing Bull team principal checkered flag joins. Josh Rizoglet, or I'm not sure how to say his last name. You could say Josh Rizotland. The Riz name's really messing things up. He
Yeah.
slots into P3 with a 15.899. So Joshy into fourth with a 116 as Farmer Sam has a grid penalty. He's exiting turn 2, heading towards turn 3 now. Collision with Mr. Cool Cars, who finished his lap. It seems like Farmer Sam was starting one. So it will be interesting to see if anything happens about that. I don't think much can happen, given it was a qualifying incident, maybe being impeded. Resultland, Devo says, thank you for that in chat.
So I did miss one of the reserves. Of course, Mertz is a late in. He's a Tier 2 driver for Alpine. Been doing a fantastic job since moving over to the team from France, and I'm pretty sure it was K5M who was the late out there. So he's been performing pretty well consistently. But yeah, Mertz is stepping up today for Tier 1.
Joshua Lee, he had a incident. I'm assuming he hit the pit wall because he was stranded at the exit of turn 16, or in the middle of the track pretty much. So the best he will be able to do is a 15.593. But for now, everyone pretty much finishing up their times. Yusuf Goat invalidating. Who else is here? There's a McLaren of PSB. He is heading towards the end of Sector 1. It seems like someone who'll set the next time is a Haas of Aiden Oriziums. He's pulling into the pits. However, so it seems like it will be KLX next across the line, heading into turn 13, the penultimate corner. Not much ERS left for the Mercedes driver, but he does have his DRS open to the line. He's using every bit of overtake, even if he doesn't have much. He slots into ninth, just behind his teammate and team principal of Aussie 2K Goat. We now have PSB heading through turn 12, heading towards the penultimate hairpin of turn 13, looking to slot above his teammate who set the slowest time so far. What can PSB do? Reserving in for McLaren, crossing the line now. It will be a 17.5. He was faster than his teammate, but not by as much as he would have wanted.
Yeah, not too bad there from PS Bomber, of course, a reserve driver today, replacing Websy. So massive shoes to fill, and a 17.5 for a banker there. That's not too bad. He'll be looking to go a little bit faster. Of course, Blicky, we know, with a 119.8 can go a lot quicker, and Tetris, of course, with a 122.1. I expect there's maybe a double out lap there from the Ferrari driver. The fill-in today from Tier 2. So Josh, you're looking pretty comfortable in P4 at the moment in the Kick Sauber. So he's been rather impressive since Parzival signed him, the team principal, of course. Jesse, otherwise known as Parzival. And you can see the two Mercedes in P8 and P9, the Aussie 2K Goat and KLX, of course, in fairly good form, you'd have to say, considering the rough start of the season. Last weekend, KLX, his best result of the year with a P4. And you've got Aussie 2K Goat finishing P10 last weekend as well. So both the boys inside the top 10 as they are right now. So they'll be looking to just get a bit more of that form going for this weekend and see if they can add a few more points to the total.
Yeah, I've been going on board with Mick Jammy, also known as Meowsy. He seems like he's the only driver on a lap at the moment, as I believe Tetris invalidated at the start of his. He doesn't set a better time when he crosses the line, so I'll assume that's the case. Meowsy looking to end off this, what seems like has been an amazing lap from him as he rounds through the final corner. 20% battery left, running towards the line. What can the Ferrari do? He goes provisional pole, 15.390 for the Ferrari, looking to capitalise on Websy, our championship leader, missing out on this race, and he has got an excellent jump start on that pole by, or provisional provisional pole by just over 1.5 tenths.
Yeah, well said, Ash. Definitely, of course, Meowsy. It's his debut season at Inters, and he's made a real splash on the scene. He's currently sitting second on the overalls in Tier 1 with 199 points. Websy on 230 points. So there's only 31 points in it. If McJamie Dodge, otherwise known as Meowsy, if he can consolidate on this pole and come away with first position, geez, it's really going to tighten things up in the overalls when Websy returns. But that's exactly what the battle cat, the team principal, wants to see from his number one driver. And if you don't know, but the battle cat has just touched down in Vietnam on holiday, so he's probably just choking on a few noodles watching that amazing lap from McJamie Dodge.
Yeah, Tetris is Tier 2 reserve, finishing his lap. He was P15, but he was jumped, I believe, by Sawsity, who slotted into 8th position, a 1:16.231 for the Haas driver. I'm not sure why it says DRS interviews letter P, but I've been able to put my stream into a mini player and it's showing up fine, but before it was saying that for me. I've seen it happen to Jay Cashmash before. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Finn's finally on an outlap. He hasn't set a time so far this session, but it seems like the next driver to the line will be a Kick Sauber of Lil Sheldon. He is currently on a hot lap, heading towards turn 11, tightened in the renovations a few years ago. A bit of a tank slapper on exit for the Kick Sauber reserve. As we've mentioned before, reserving up from Tier 2. Aced that penultimate corner, it seems. Maybe could have been a bit more aggressive on the throttle. He's running low on fuel. Overtake to the line, however, for the Kick Sauber. He improves by 0.195 of a second, but it's only enough for him to go 15th, which is where he was before. There now seems to be a flurry of Ferraris heading towards the line, as well as a Racing Bull in there somewhere. But for now, it seems like things are cooling down a little bit, except possibly Kalex starting his lap. There's a Williams of Finn's starting his lap in front of him, and then it seems like it will be Yusuf, who's on a in-lap, and then McLaren of Blicky on an in-lap as well. Very quiet at the moment.
Yeah, talking about quiet, Checkered Flag, the team principal for the Racing Bulls, snuck in during qualifying a few minutes ago, and he put in a really good time, a 1:15.7 there to slot into P4. Of course, Checkered Flag, I'm pretty sure it was pole last weekend, but I know he was up there at the beginning of the race, leading it for a little bit, going back and forth with a few of the front runners, and I thought it may have been his best opportunity to clinch his first win in Tier 1, but wasn't to be, so... Anyway, his teammate as well in P7, so both the Racing Bulls looking good. Of course, Yusuf, we know how good he is, the GOAT. He's renowned around these traps. And, a bit of a slow start to the season, but he's been coming home pretty strongly. He's snuck up to P5 in the overalls. P4 in the overalls. Excuse me.
We've got Finn's finishing off his lap. A little bit of a lock-up into the penultimate corner. If there's anyone who has a DRS overlay, on the right side of your screen, at least if you're on PC, there's an overlay expert button, and once you click on that, there's an option to turn them off. But Finn's going P2, making it a provisional Williams 2, and for the Williams team principal, will be very, very happy with that. But obviously Joshua Lee, he won't be able to set another lap time this session, being DNF'd. The best he can hope for, P5, as Farmer Sam improves on his earlier time, sliding into P4. Apollo Pepsi, he's on a cooldown lap. KLX on a cooldown lap. He also invalidated. Aussie 2K Goat filing into the pit lane. Mertz on a cooldown lap. So everyone decided to pull into the pits, recoup before their final run with 4 minutes left in this session.
No doubt about it, Ash. And of course, we welcome back Apollo Pepsi to the grid after missing a couple of weeks away on holidays. I think he said he did a bit of go-karting and may have hurt himself a little bit. But yeah, had a great time, he said. So, yeah. Welcome back to the Tier 2 commentator at Inters and the Red Bull Tier 1 driver. It's good to see him back, and he's in P9 at the moment. It's 116 flat for him. Let's have a look. We've got, as you said, Ash, we've got most drivers just filing back in now. There's just over 3.5 minutes remaining. Farmer Sam coming back in as well. Mert sitting there, P18 at the moment with a 116.9. You think he's about to file back in as well. Chuck on some fresh tyres, come back out. Try and push a little harder and get a little bit further up this grid. Tetris, I know as well, with a 118 flat, will be looking to go a bit quicker than that. He will fancy his chances of getting up around, I'd say about P17. With a bit of luck, he could get up around the top 15, I'd say. So 3 minutes left with it all to play, Ash, and of course we know how important it is qualifying at the end. The track obviously ramps up, and if you can put in a good time at the end, chances are you'll finish up the pointy end.
Yeah, Tyler starting his lap. He was the first driver to set a lap time at the start of this session. He'll look to be first at the end of it. Coming towards turn 3 now, looking to improve his position from P11. His first sector has appeared very, very strong. Coming towards the end, we'll have to see what the splits are. He is up 1.8 tenths on his previous time. He'll want a good run through the next two DRS zones, through turns I believe 9 and 10 as well. That little left right can easily catch you out on exit. A little spin into the inside wall is all it takes to ruin your qualifying session, but the track map flashes up purple. Tyler improving on his sector 2 time by a tenth. That means he is now 2.8 tenths of a second up, heading through turn 11 all the way on that yellow line that defines the track limits, through turn 12 heading towards 13 and 14. What time can the Aston Martin lay down? Can it be the time that will put him on pole? What can Tyler do? Heading towards the line now. It is a nearly 4/10 improvement, but only 4 P6 for him. Still a strong result for the Aston Martins at the moment. It seems like Tetris will be the next driver to set a lap time 7/10 of a second up for the Ferrari, heading through the start of sector 3. He needs this lap if he does not want to start last. Tetris looking to find every bit of time he can through this final sector. Turn 12 now, a small lift, only 50% throttle through there. Now 13 into turn 13 into third gear, up through fourth. Overtake on DRS open. He'll get a tiny little toe down to the line. What can Tetris do? He sets a 116.899, putting him into 19th.
Yeah, not bad there from Tetris. Great call there, Ash. I'm on board with Josh Lachlan at the moment in currently P8. Oh, I think hasn't invalidated. He's kept that on track. Oh, he's got a couple of cars in his way, but not exactly gonna stop him from continuing on there as he rounds the last corner. Nice. He's going to come across the finish line here. I don't think he's going to improve. A 1:15.8 there. We've got a Williams coming through the back. Who was that?
Fittins, it has to be. He's on an outlap, but it seems like the next driver to cross the line will be Mr. Cool Cars. Where is he at the moment? P15, looking to improve into 8th position for Mr. Cool Cars, improving by a nice little 4.45 tenths of a second.
So that was Blicky to come across in P11 there with the 1:15.9 in the McLaren, and also Yusuf come across with P6 of the 1:15.6 there in the RB. So McJammy Dodge, 1:15.1 if you don't mind, but Aiden with a McJammy Dodge with a 1:15.2, but Aiden with a 1:15.1 takes pole at the moment. So Finns, we've got a few more actually. So Josh, you just finishes with the 1:15.8. The other McLaren there coming across the line. PS Bomber won't improve. The Mercedes KLX and Aussie 2K go 15 and 16 at the moment. The other RB, I believe that was Checkered Flag with a P8, 1:15.7. Next one across, it looks like, is that a Williams, Finns, is it?
Finns coming to the line, no battery left for him, looking for pole, but he cannot improve. Only P3 for the Williams driver. I say only, but it is a 3-5 result for the Williams. Joshua Lee retiring early after an incident at pit entry, and that will be qualifying. Aiden Riziums, your pole sitter. Mick Jeremy in the Ferrari, not far behind. Finns in P3, Farmer Sam P4, Joshua Lee P5.
Amazing qualifying there at the end. To see Aiden get up into P1, outstanding. I believe that's his first pole position of the season. Of course, I'm the team principal of Haas, so very proud of Aiden. He's just been improving every single week. Of course, I signed him after losing Frosty after 5 rounds in Tier 1. We did see Frosty return to reserves. He was on standby this afternoon, but you've got to say Aiden has really stepped up at to beat McJamie Dodge there by half a tenth. There was just absolutely nothing in it, so congratulations to the young man. Finns, of course, in P3 in the Williams. Outstanding finish there, just 3/10 off P1. Farmer Sam as well in the Aston Martin with a 1:15.5. Very impressive. Joshua Lee reserving today in the Williams with a 1:15.5 in P5. Congratulations to him. Yusuf, of course, in P6 in the RB. You've got Tyler with the Aston Martin. Both cars there up inside the top 7. And checkered flag, of course, the team principal there for the Racing Bulls. P8, Mr. Cool Cars. That's probably one of his best qualifying there for the season in P9. And to round out the top 10, you've got Josh Riz for the Alpine.
Yeah, Farmer Sam, he did qualify P4, but unfortunately for him, he had an incident with Mr. Cool Cars, and that has given him a time penalty. So, or not a time penalty, a grid penalty. That will relegate him to P4. It means that the Williams will share the second row of the grid. A
5 place grid penalty, so it was P4. That'll put him to P9. I believe that's quite a harsh penalty. I haven't seen anything in chat there, but it's just unfortunate.
So we just have to wait for this race to start. All the drivers will figure out their strategy. If I'm not mistaken, it is primarily medium hard around here. The softs don't last long before the mediums become the optimal tyre. You'll see the pit lane start to flurry with action from lap 11 to lap 18. You'll just have to see how long these drivers can make their tyres last. But the lights are starting to come on. 3 lights, 4 lights, now all 5 lights, and it is lights out, and away we go. Aiden Riziums seeming to have got a decent start over McJamie Dodge. Finns and Joshua Lee going side by side through turn 1. The teammates making slight contact. There's smoke back at turn 1. Finns and Joshua Lee still side by side. This invites Yusuf Goat into the fray, moving up to P4. Still side by side with Finns through turn 4. However, looking to improve his position, and that is what he does. He makes it Haas, Ferrari, Williams, RB, Williams, RB. The Aston Martins together in P7 and P8. It seems like PSB at the back might have had an incident as checkered flag now decides to take on Finns. They're ghosting through each other. Finns falling down 3 positions from the start. Not an ideal start. Every single driver on the medium compound of tyres, they'll be pitting from lap 11 to lap 16 unless we see a safety car. But however, for now it looks relatively clean. Checkered flag and Finns going side by side. Checkered flag slightly forcing off Finns. Farmer Sam having a look down the inside as checkered flag has another moment. Blicky getting Sir Joshy in the back, making 2 moves as he possibly has a moment through the penultimate corner, but it seems like not many people have damage after lap 1, keeping it semi-clean the whole lap. No one pulling into the pits, and that is exactly what you like to see.
Great call there in lap 1 there, Ash, no doubt about it. You saw Sir Joshy of the Kick Sauber and Blicky in the McLaren scrapping from turn 1 onwards. And I tell you what, Blicky's got some pretty good straight line speed. Of course, Aiden got off to the good start. He's got 2.5 tenths, almost out to the 3 tenths on McJamie. Joshua Lee up into P3 there, so great start from the reserve driver in the Williams car. You've got Yusuf, both RBs, the Racing Bulls, P4 and P5. Great start to the race from those two. It looks like Yusuf has got a bit of a gap out there to checkered flag. Not sure what happened because those two were right next to each other to begin with. Finn's coming up on the outside of checkered flag in P6 at the moment, gets the move done. So the Williams got some good speed there. And of course, with the DRS open, had a little bit of extra speed and got the move done there. Farmer Sam behind checkered flag. Also got a great run here on the outside. Up into turn 12. Oh, there's a lot of contact. He's hit the gravel. His teammate and a couple of other cars look to take advantage there, so he drops at least 3 positions there from Farmer Sam.
Yeah, heading into turn 9 and 10, however, Aiden Riziums lost his lead to McJamie Dodge. McJamie using the second helping of DRS to hold his position, but now Aiden has a chance to get that position back. He was just out of DRS range of the reserve of Joshua Lee at the start of the straight, but Joshua Lee evidently actually I don't think he got DRS, but he was able to gain time. McJamie Dodge, however, managing to hold his position, but Aiden Riziums isn't far behind. There's only one corner to the DRS detection point, and it's relatively fast, so whoever has the higher wings could very well win out here, as Apollo Pepsi already has 3 seconds of time penalties for going over the track limits. But Aiden Riziums around the outside of the Ferrari. He takes the lead as Aussie 2K Golden. That is a Red Bull and a Mercedes laid across the track as Josh Rizoklin. 10 seconds for him. This throws a little spanner in the works.
Yeah, no, safety car, full safety car. I can see it coming out, and we've had 2 casualties, so Aussie 2K Goat and Mr. Cool Cars. So the team principal for Mercedes, and Mr. Cool Cars, unfortunate. He had a good qualifying, and just the race already over, 3 laps in. Very unfortunate. Didn't quite see what happened there. Ash, did you catch any of that action?
I unfortunately did not, but as I'm sure that it will be shared very loud and clear in the Tier 1 reports. Blicky pitting for mediums. He obviously plans to pit again. Josh Rizoklin serving his 10 seconds, getting his front wing changed, and will hop onto the hards, presumably to the end of this race. Yusuf Goat jumping Joshua Lee in the pit lane. However, he is now P11, leading the cars who have pitted.
Yep, of course. This opens up a little bit of the door for some of the guys who were down at the back of the field to begin with. You see Tetris up in a P10 in the Ferrari. Of course, the cars behind him have all boxed now, so he'll be at a little bit of a disadvantage, but at least he's a bit further up the field and can just get a bit of rhythm here with the cars in front of him. You've got Saucity up in P6, Lil Sheldon as well. He's up in P8 there in the bright green Kick Sauber. Mertz as well up into P7, so he'll be looking to take advantage further up in the field. These guys are just probably hoping for a bit of carnage behind them at the safety car restart, and probably hoping for another safety car a bit further down the line and jump onto those hards and come to the end. We know those hards do go a long way. Blicky, I think, on those mediums quite early, but look, if there's an opportunity to get on fresh tyres, you'd take it, especially in Tier 1. That's what the boys just seem to do. Yeah,
the hards lasting 32 laps until they get into puncture territory. So the hards can definitely go to the end, but they'll be very slippery, lacking a grip by the end of this race. Josh Rizoklin, he is the only driver who still needs to catch up to the safety car. He has done so, and the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. So while we're doing that, let's have a look at position change, just because it's something interesting to talk about. The Tier 2 drivers having quite the race, it seems. partially helped by drivers in front of them pitting. Mertz and Sheldon up 10 positions, Tetris up 9, PSB up 11 places from P20 on the grid. Sawzity and Sir Joshi up 7, Farmer Sam up 4, and as you can see on your screens, the top 3 unchanged.
They are unchanged. So yeah, those guys just obviously holding place from the start of this race. They didn't get the opportunity to pit there, so just have to wait and see how the race unfolds for them. They'll be banking another safety car, like I said before, but the safety car is in this lap, Ash. I'll be back in about 2 minutes, mate.
Yeah, I am happy to take this safety car restart away. We'll ride on board with the Ferrari of Mick Jammy Dodge just to make sure that there's no sketchy business under this safety car restart as that yellow dot starts to pull away. The Aston Martin safety car will file into the pits. Who knows if it will be the only Aston Martin to lead the pack today. Farmer Sam and Tyler both have an equally good chance to make it to the front. Tyler, third of the drivers who have pitted, they can get to the end, but for now Aiden Riziums will be looking to go, and that's exactly what he's done. McJammy Dodge with a decent reaction there. Fins also quite close, but everyone seems to have survived that safety car restart. Aiden Riziums still leading the pack into turn 1 as Apollo Pepsi and Josh Rizocklin going side by side into turn 1. They kept it clean, however. Aiden Riziums still leading the race, followed by McJammy Dodge 3.5 tenths behind. Fins 4 tenths behind McJammy Dodge, gaining a little bit of time on the exit of turn 4. Sir Joshi a bit further back than other drivers, and Farmer Sam will be looking to capitalise, only 2 tenths behind the Kick Sauber. These two will go at it tonight in Oz F1. Joshua Lee 3 seconds for exceeding track limits. That will not help him in the grand scheme of things. He's down in P12, second of the drivers who have pitted so far, but it seems like McJammy Dodge will just have to sit back and wait for the next DRS zone, which will be after turn 6 on the next lap, as the cars won't pass the DRS detection zone until then. But McJammy Dodge still only 3 tenths behind Joshua Lee and Tetris going at it, as Tetris is in the gravel at turn 12. He's now on the inside of checkered flag, heading through the hairpin. They've kept it clean, but it seems like a driver got too excited on the throttle, might have made contact with somebody else. From my POV at least, it looked like they were destined to head into the wall, but it seems like everyone except Mr. Cool Cars and Aussie 2K Goat is still in this race.
No, you're right there. I think it was KLX who, Tetris re-entry, I think, just backed up the field a little bit, and it looked like maybe Apollo Pepsi may have just had a little contact with KLX there, who did very well to hold on to the car there, and he's lost a couple of positions. He's back in a P18 KLX at the moment, so he'll have to claw his way through the field. Tetris up in a P15, as you said. Apollo Pepsi with that time penalty that's going to hurt at the end of the race. He'll be looking to keep it as clean as possible to the end with so long to go. You've got little Sheldon getting overtaken by Yusuf the Goat there, running out of room, but gets the move done. Very nice there from Yusuf, up in a P8 at the moment. Joshua Lee, gets the move done on Sheldon on the outside, so up in a P9 for the Williams reserve. Making good ground there on those fresh hards. Let's have a look what else is going on, Ash. Up the front, it looks like McJammy Dodge is into P1.
Yeah, he took the lead around the outside, heading into turn 9 and 10. A brilliant move from the Ferrari, but he will now be left to defend from the Haas driver, Aiden Riziums. He wants this race win bad. Both of these drivers, in fact the whole grid, will want to take points off Websy missing this race. The runaway championship leader could regret that one, but for now he will just have to watch from the sidelines as McJammy Dodge and Aiden Riziums go toe to toe for the win of this race. McJammy Dodge pulling away a little bit from Aiden Riziums. A move might not be on heading into turn 8 and 9, but you get that double dose into turn 11 as Joshua Lee, Blicky and Mertz all swapping positions as Tyler and Blicky going side by side. Now it looks like checkered flag and Will Sheldon could be swapping positions. Checkered flag moving up into P12. Joshua Lee still going toe-to-toe with Mertz, and this is some excellent midfield action, if I do say so myself. But in the meantime, Aiden Riziums did end up taking the lead off McJamie Dodge as he goes a bit wide at turn 12.
Oh, magnificent racing. I've got to say, Mertz, I've been on board with him for about the last lap, and he's had a couple of the guys go past him on the fresher tyres, and he's really doing well, just holding them up where he can, but also being as fair as he can on those older tyres, letting them pass, and it's some great racing out here. Blicky just sitting behind Mertz at the moment in P11 in the McLaren, looking to take advantage of Mertz on those old tyres. I think he's going to get him here. You've seen the move done on the lap before a couple of times. Mertz hugs the inside, holds position there, so you'll have to get at the next DRS point. You've also got Sir Joshy as well. Farmer Sam up into P4. Battles going on all over the place. Blicky, back on Blicky, is all over the back of Mertz, but can't seem to get a good run at the moment. Oh, let's see if he can get a run here with the DRS. Oh, actually, McJamie Dodge as well, up into P1. And Aiden McJamie back into P1. Gets the move done on the outside. Finn's very closely sitting behind in P3 at the moment in the Williams. Just watching these guys going back and forth, waiting for his opportunity to open up.
Yeah, Blicky and Checkered Flag having a little bit of side-by-side action through turn 9 and 10. Joined that one a little bit late, but they are still going at it into turn 11. Checkered Flag forcing Blicky around the outside, forcing off, giving him 3 seconds. That could be a penalty removal from Blicky if he can keep it clean for the rest of this race. But the odds of that are low. Tetris at the back having a bit of a fidget spinner race. I've seen a couple of yellows with that Ferrari trailing the pack involved in it as Blicky gets past TTV Mertz heading into turn 1. Mertz didn't give up that position on a silver platter though, forced Blicky to fight for it, but he will now look to pull away. Mertz will look to stick with him until that turn 6 DRS detection point. That seems to be where a lot of the moves are being made, especially for the lead. And speaking of the lead, McJamie Dodge, Aiden Riziums, Finns and friends are all approaching that detection point now. Aiden Riziums, the Haas driver, as I'm joined by the Haas TP, will be looking to make it P1. Once again, McJamie Dodge forced to relinquish his position into P2. But for now, Aiden Riziums takes the lead of the race, once again being forced around the outside. That's where a lot of the moves have been so far this race. But McJamie Dodge able to hold his P2. Is there more action coming up? It seems like there is. Josh Rizocklin and TTV Mertz, the two Alpines, going at it. Mertz going side by side with KLX. KLX forcing him off a bit. That could be a warning removal for Mertz if he requires it. Apollo Pepsi always here to pick up the scraps if anything goes wrong, as Mertz deploys a bit of a smokescreen heading into that second to last corner.
Yeah, I wonder how those medium tyres are going with 10 laps registered on them now. The guys have been pushing pretty hard, been pretty clean passing at the front between the Haas and the Ferrari of McJamie Dodge. Finn's, of course, just sitting there, as I said, waiting for his opportunity. Farmer Sam in P4 as well, joining that long DRS train. Of course, Saucity up into P5, so both the Haas drivers sitting nicely there. So Joshy, P6, has been scrapping all afternoon. He had a pretty good finish last weekend, P11, and he's been up the front of the field from the beginning of this race, so he'll be looking to consolidate on a really good start. Yusuf Goat is the first driver on the fresh tyres after that safety car on the hards, and he's taken about 6/10 off the last lap to the car in front of him. So he's just under that second margin at the moment. You'd think, oh, he's already under it now, so he's going to pick up the next lot of DRS, and you'd think Yusuf is going to start to move through this field pretty quickly, unless they think about boxing. Maybe they're still waiting for another safety car. There's so many battles going on. Checkered flag, it looks like, with Blicky at the moment. These guys have been scrapping the last 2 laps. Ash, what are you seeing?
Finn's moving up into P2 ahead of Aiden Riziums. It seems like Aiden fell 2 positions in 2 sectors as PSB has a spin at the back. I'll stay with this action, the Blicky battle, however. But it seems like everyone going single file into turn 1. We'll have to see if Finn's goes for a move up the inside into turn 3. It does not appear so. That whole pack going through nicely. Checkered Flag defending his position well from Blicky possibly backing out of a potential move as, PSB retiring in the pits. Associated McLaren with McLaren as Blicky had a moment coming out of turn 4 that has lost him multiple positions and brought Checkered Flag crucial time. Sir Joshi and Yusuf Goat going head to head, heading towards turn 9 and 10. And Tyler now joining the affair, moving up into P7. Finns took the lead of the race. I'm not sure if Broseph was trying to butt in and mention that, but he now holds the lead over McJamie Dodge. Aiden Rizium's still in third. Farmer Sam and Sawsity have caught up, though Sawsity being a bit of a penalty point magnet so far this season. Them, Sawsity and Farmer Sam having multiple incidents. But speaking of Sawsity, he decides to pull into the pits, braking just in time to... Mertz is out of the session. That's the safety car, and that is perfect timing for Sawsity.
Unbelievable, Mertz. I can see it there. He was pushing so hard on those, excuse me, on those old tyres. So, it's just really unfortunate. He was having a great run, but maybe just pushing that little bit too much. And I'm not sure if there was any contact. His car just taken away before Lil Sheldon coming around the corner there. But Sir Joshi jumped into the pits as well, as did Blicky and Lil Sheldon. So those guys taking advantage of Mertz's forced safety car there. And Finn's up into P1 at the moment. So you'd have to imagine these front runners are going to box at the end of this lap, Ash.
Yeah, it won't be. I imagine it won't be as effective as Sawsity's pit stop. The safety car getting called out as pretty much as soon as he pulled into the pits, and the likes of Yusuf, I imagine, will go around and meet the safety car so their delta could get removed while Finn's is still in the pit lane. But the people who pitted early, they still have the potential to make that pit stop. Josh Rizocklin on those mediums, he'll have to pit again. So will Blicky. He's already done that. Now the top 4, the only drivers who haven't pitted so far this race, they all pull into the pits. Yusuf stays out, however. So do most of the people who pitted early, except Joshua Lee. He pulls into pits. So does Josh Rizocklin. We knew he would pit. KLX also entering pit lane. Apollo Pepsi entering the pit lane to get a brand spanking new set of medium tyres fitted on his Red Bull, but everyone else seems to have stayed out. This will give Tetris an opportunity to catch back up to the safety car as well. Very needed for the Ferrari driver.
Yep. This safety car is going to be wanted for some and definitely unwanted for others, but that's normally the way it goes in F1. You've just got to play the chips as they land, as they say. So it's interesting. You've got those guys who pitted early on those hard tyres. They've already done 10 laps, and you've got to say Yusuf, Tyler, and Checkered, even Finn's. Oh, sorry, Finn's is on the new set, but the top 3 were pushing really hard on those hard tyres. So, look, you said they're going to last well and truly to the end of the race, but yeah, you'd imagine that they're going to get gobbled up pretty quickly by the likes of McJamie Dodge, Finn's, Sawsity, Aiden, Farmer Sam, and Joshua Lee. He's on the fresh mediums in P10, the Williams Reserve, otherwise known as Super Chair. So he's got just under, he'll have under half of the race, obviously, to go on those mediums. So, yeah, he'll be feeling those tyres at the end, but should be able to bring them home. KLX and Apollo, obviously, in the same boat. And here we go. So, half the race to go, Ash, and it's been fast and furious, to say the least. You'd think, what are RB going to do? That's Racing Bulls. That's the question. Obviously won't want to box at the same time because they will double stack. Just have to maybe... Hopefully they can work together to maybe cause a bit of carnage behind them. And I'm not going to say obviously intentionally, but they're going to need something to play out in their favour here.
Yeah, Yusuf and Checkered Flag in a bit of a pickle. Something we could see is Checkered Flag playing a bit of a rear gunner for Yusuf to try and get a bit more of a gap. possibly working with Tyler to improve his stance in this race. They'll want to break DRS and hope the boys in P4, 5, 6 and 7 all battle with each other. Sawsity somehow jumping Aiden in the pit lane, even though they share the same pit box, and Aiden was in front. Not exactly sure how that happened, whether it was just Aiden letting Sawsity through. Not sure what the arrangement was, but I assume the safety car will be in this lap, assuming Tetris catches back up to the pack, given he is going at full racing speed. I'll assume so.
Yep. So just a little bit behind the scenes. Obviously, you've got the likes of Ferrari, who's leading the championship, not by much at all. You've got the Racing Bulls, who've been going neck to neck with them the last couple of rounds. But Tetris in P16 at the moment, obviously with 4 DNFs, that just gives him a chance of securing points, because the top 15 will finish with points. We give incentive to those drivers to keep going. So if Tetris can just make up one more position with half the race to go, he will collect some points for his team, obviously stepping up into Tier 1 this weekend. I do have some breaking news. It doesn't look like the safety car's in, is it, Ash? Have you seen it?
No, I don't think Tetris was close enough to Will Sheldon to warrant the... Oh, that is a very late call, wow.
Extremely late.
That's...
breaking news. Sorry, this will be Tyler's last race at Inters Racing League for the foreseeable future. He's got exams coming up shortly, and so we wish Tyler all the best, and hopefully he can finish on the podium tonight, if not a race win.
Yeah, he'll want to make the most of that last race, but Yusuf leaving it to the last minute, catching Tyler out a little bit. Now 4 tenths behind, checkered flag, going down the inside. He will look to gain a position. Oh no, that was Finn's, apologies. The Blues getting mixed up. That's not what Yusuf Goat will want. He does have an 8/10 gap, but on those 10 lap fresher tyres, Finns will be all over the back of him. Roughly 20-25. Ooh. Sawsity and Farmer Sam. A lot of midfield action. I was going to say 20-25% for the old hards at the moment. It seems for once the Haas and the Aston Martin able to go side by side and coming out to tell the tale, but they are still side by side heading towards turn 9 and 10. Not normally an overtaking zone without DRS, but it seems like Farmer Sam is trying to make it one, and that is exactly what he has done. So, but he does get a third and final warning in the process. Joshua Lee moving up ahead of Sawsity, but what else?
Yeah, it's all happening, Ash. There's no doubt about it. These guys are scrapping after the safety car has gone in, especially in the midfield. Tyler, unfortunately, has lost about 7 positions on that lap alone, and obviously with those old hard tyres on 12 laps, is really struggling as you see Sir Joshi on the inside up into P9 coming into turn 1.
Yeah, that is a good move to make if you are the Kicksauber, but he now needs to stay close to Sawsity in front if he wants the RSFIC. He very well could lose that position that he just gained. It seems like Will Sheldon going for a move on Tetris, possibly braking a bit too late, but they managed to keep that clean. No contact between the 2 Ferrari-powered cars through that sequence of corners. But now look how vulnerable Yusuf Goat will be to Finns. The new tyres doing wonders for the Williams. What can he do on track, however? He will be looking to the outside to make the move like everyone else has had to do for the lead, and that is exactly what he does. Fully ahead by turn in and breaking point. And now the Williams is in front. McJamie Dodge swerving around the track as they make contact heading into turn 11. He will lose that position to Aiden Riziums. Aiden Riziums getting back up onto the podium. Finns will now have a bigger gap. Yusuf Goat a bit further behind than he would like to be, but he will have the aids of DRS to protect his position. 5 tenths behind Finns. Look at that helicopter cam on board with Yusuf. We don't get to see that anymore, but Aiden Riziums heading up the inside into turn 1. McJamie Dodge still stuck in P4. Aiden Riziums and checkered flag, it seems, going toe to toe through turn 1. but it seems like Sawsity has got the best of that little battle as Blicky and KLX going side by side. We see this from the back of Sir Josh's car making a little bit of contact, but KLX pulls ahead of oh no, he falls behind Sir Joshy. Got a bit lost there. But now McJamie Dodge will be looking to make a move on Yusuf Goat. Running low on battery. So is Yusuf, however, both in overtake. McJamie being forced to the outside. He isn't fully ahead, but Yusuf just backs out a little. But McJamie still went a bit deep, and he has now lost time to Aiden Riziums, who will be looking for a move to take the lead, but he just backs out. He wants to be second. He wants that DRS. He wants that toe for the rest of this race.
Oh, unbelievable racing. This is these guys are just scrapping so hard here. Tier 1 Inters Racing League Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne at Albert Park. I'm on board with Blicky at the moment, who's just behind Checkered Flag, who's been doing a really good job trying to hold on as best he can. He was up in P1 not long ago. He's back down to P11 at the moment on those 15-lap-old hard tyres, just really struggling. But Yusuf, his teammate, P4, same tyres, 15 laps on those hards, doing really well to hold position in P4 at the moment. You've got Joshua Lee behind him, the Super Reserve in the Williams, less than 2/10 behind him on 5-lap-old medium, so he'll be pushing Yusuf around. You'd think with 3/4 of this lap to go and about 10 laps to go on the race, Sir Joshi picks up a 3-second time penalty in P7 in the Sauber at the moment, with Saucity about 3.5 behind him. You've got Blicky as well, pushing as hard as he can. Checkered trying to hold on to the back of the McLaren. They've both got DRS, so I don't think Checkered's going to be able to get the move done. KLX, though, is on the back of Checkered Flag, and looks like he's got much fresher tyres as well. Yes, he does. So KLX moving through the field, and there's just little spot fires happening all over the place.
Yeah, in the meantime, Aiden Riziums once again going around the outside, heading towards turn 9 and 10 down Lakeside Drive, able to take the lead, and Finns has fallen quite the way back as he goes deep at turn 13. Grass on his tyres now. McJamie will be looking to burn that grass with the heat of his engine once he is in front of Finns, but he has to deal with Finns' reserve teammate Joshua Lee on those 6-lap-old mediums. At this stage, the mediums will be performing better than those hard, but who knows for how long, as KLX pulls up pulls up with 3 seconds more of time penalties. Not sure if he had that anymore, but it seems like mediums are ideal for 4 to 20 laps after you pit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Finns in the Williams in P3. He's probably had a lap to forget. He's dropped a couple of positions there. McJamie Dodge up into P2, but the damage has been done. Aiden just managing to skip away to a 1.5-second lead at the moment with just under 9 laps to go. So Aiden posting the fastest lap as well, last lap around. So if he can just keep pushing and consolidating this little gap, he might be able to run away with things, but the cars behind him need to work together to close that gap. You've got Farmer Sam in P4 with Joshua Lee, both with time penalties. So Yusuf looking just to hold on to the back of them. There's plenty still to happen. So guys aren't really holding their cards at the moment. They're definitely trying to push and see whatever results they can get with a good amount of race left in this race at the moment. We have a little bit further down in P10. You've got Blicky, KLX, and Sir Joshi, all with time penalties. Little Sheldon and Apollo Pepsi as well. So those guys are going to have to do something just to make up for that indiscretion a little bit earlier on. But these guys are scrapping really well at the moment. You've got McJamie Dodge. He can't really close that gap. It's almost up to 2 seconds at the moment. It's up to 1.9 seconds. And Aiden doing a great job.
Yeah, Aiden taking the lead of this race and running with it, managing it well. Now, as you mentioned, 1.8 seconds, but something now also happening. Finns taking P2 off McJamie Dodge. A lot of McJamie hate in the chat, and they will love to see that as Finns moves into P2. He'll be looking to extend his gap on McJamie Dodge, possibly hoping Joshua Lee, his teammate, can follow him up into the podium steps. I'd really love if this podium were to change, however, as at this stage we'll only be able to interview the Ferrari driver unless Broseph can connect to Discord and get Discord on speaker through his microphone. Just an idea I'll throw out. But Farmer Sam very close to McJammy Dodge, heading through turn 1. Can he get the move done? No, it seems he'll tuck behind the Ferrari for another sector or so. Sawsity in a little train, the conductor of which is STE Blicky, the newly signed McLaren driver, after he jumped ship off Kick Sauber, quitting F1 earlier in the season. But as you can see, he has made his way back. But Farmer Sam possibly looking for a move on McJammy Dodge. How much ERS do they have? They have fairly similar levels, but Finns will be the subject of getting overtaken this time into turn 9 and 10. McJammy Dodge heading up into P2. Finns will now be vulnerable to the Aston Martin of Farmer Sam. He wasn't able to make the correct inroad, so Joshua Lee was, as they make contact. Joshua Lee front wing damage. Farmer Sam getting a bit too excited with the throttle on exit, and that is damage to the Williams driver. I'm sure we will see that in the Tier 1 stewards room. Farmer Sam has been there a lot this season. We'll have to see if he can make, avoid it this time. Tyler having a little beach trip, even though the lake is on his right in the Carlos Sainz gravel trap. That is not where you want to be if you're Tyler, the only driver it looks like who will not score points this race, given his whole pit stop behind Tetris.
Yeah, it's not the finish that Tyler wants. He's going to wait. He's going to hope for a late safety car and chuck on some fresher tyres than he's got on at the moment. But hopefully he can get a bit more out of the end of this race. But yeah, Aiden Rizium's almost up to a 2.5 second gap at the moment in the Haas, so he just needs to keep his head down and concentrate. McJammy Dodge is trying to hold off Finns at the moment, but he can't do it. The Williams driver up in a P2 gets the job done on the Ferrari as they go through the graveyard. Looks effortless for this Tier 1 drivers through there. Farmer Sam as well. Joshua Lee, who a lap ago through this sector was pushing fairly hardly on Farmer Sam to try and get the move done. He had a nice run. There was a bit of contact made, and he ended up a couple of tyres off track, and it just cost him about a second and a half there. So he's doing his best to fight back up because he's on those mediums. Yusuf Goat is doing an amazing job, I must add. P6 at the moment, 19 lap old, about to be 20 lap old, hard tyres. Incredible job from Yusuf. He's holding on, but Blicky, you can see the McLaren, he's all over Yusuf at the moment, just biding his time, doesn't want to dart into turn 1 and get the move done when it's not going to be secured completely. He's on the outside here into turn 4. Checkered flag giving him everything, but Blicky on the inside with those fresher tyres. It was elementary there in the end, so great move up in a P7 for Blicky. He's having a great scrap, having a great race. Hopefully that time penalty won't cost him too much, but Saucity as well on the back of Yusuf. He's pushing as well.
Yeah, it appears that Finns moving back up into P2, heading through turn 9 and 10. A lot of overtakes through there, looking to use that second DRS zone to help build an advantage. But Farmer Sam, Joshua Lee, they are fully out of contention. They have penalties. Aiden Rizium's running away with this race, but even if he has a spin moment, the top two are penalty free. P4 and 5 are not. But it seems like McJammy Dodge will once again be on the attack. Finns the defendant in this scenario. McJammy Dodge are looking to persecute Finns to the sentence of having to relinquish his P2 position, as he has a major moment out of turn 1. Finns on the exit.
Oh!
Well, that's a very sketchy rejoin.
Wow. Yeah, that was super sketchy. He had the likes of Saucity, Blicky, Yusuf, KLX, Joshy just flying past him on the inside when he just swung the Williams car around just off the racing line. I tell you what, that was a hell of a bit of footage there. Heart in the mouth kind of stuff there from the Williams driver, but he'll be furious so close to the end of this race to be back in a P10 with that unfortunate set of circumstances. But if you don't look now, Farmer Sam up in a P2 gets the move done on McJammy Dodge. Probably the best fortuitous out of that moment there. So Farmer Sam up a couple of positions. Joshua Lee in the Williams in P4. You've got Saucity P5. Blicky up in a P6. He had a little bit of... there was a little bit of contact with Saucity and Yusuf a couple of laps ago, but Blicky seems to have got his car back under control, and he's actually up back in front of Yusuf after falling behind a lap ago. So up in a P6, Saucity P5. Those guys are scrapping all the way to the end. You've got KLX up in a P8 on the back of Yusuf on those old tyres. So you think Yusuf and Joshy would be able to get Yusuf with just over 3.5 laps to go here.
Yeah, Aiden Riziums, as we've mentioned before, running away with this race. Farmer Sam, it seems, making small inroads on his lead, but obviously Farmer Sam will be relegated to P3 come the end of this race, given he has that time penalty. If Saucity can really get a move on here ahead of Joshua Lee, who has that damage, a podium could potentially be on the cards, but that would require a Farmer Sam mistake, and Farmer Sam has been quite consistent so far this race. I don't think that's going to happen, making those tiny little inroads on Aiden Riziums that we have been talking about, but he just moves off the racing line, letting McJamie Dodge pass, looking to swap DRS, looking to gain time, looking to avoid the fate of P4. Saucity needing to gain 1.1 seconds to Farmer Sam if he wants that final podium spot. I'm sure Broseph in the comms box with me would love a double Haas podium. Apollo Pepsi picking up his second 3-second time penalty heading out of turn 12, exceeding track limits on that exit. But for now, it does not seem like Saucity is making the sufficient inroads into Farmer Sam's gap in front.
Yeah, not at the moment. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Of course, who was it? It was, I've lost it, but there was a really good scrap going on a little bit further down the pack a couple of laps ago. You've got Blicky at the moment looking to get on the outside of Joshua Lee. Can't quite get enough of the run at the moment. He's got a pretty good amount of ERS, but Joshua Lee absolutely gets the job done on Saucity there. So Saucity falling victim to that ERS and the DRS, of course. So Burning and the back wing open up there, giving Joshua Lee much faster car through that sector there. Blicky as well gets some move done. So Saucity back into P6. So there goes that double podium opportunity, you'd have to say, at the moment, with McJamie Dodge pushing away here, and Joshua Lee 4.5 seconds off the gap. But Blicky really close. Fins. It's a DNF. It was damage control. That's all he had to do.
That's pretty much on the racing line as well. I'd imagine we could see that, like a couple other incidents in this race in the Tier 1 Shields room, as Joshua Lee picks up 3 seconds where he doesn't want to. I believe he was forced off track for one of those, so if he keeps it clean for the remaining 2 laps of this race, P4 could still be on the cards. But at the moment, it seems like Saucity will break up into 4th position, too far back to get on the podium. Farmer Sam, it seems, will hold on to P3 even with that 3-second time penalty. Yusuf Goat also keeping it penalty free. He will gain a couple of positions from that. Exactly how many? It appears that it will be up into P4. Oh no, P5, apologies, as things stand. Obviously, pending penalty removals can happen. Joshua Lee and Blicky side by side, heading
absolutely
into turn 11.
Sorry, Ash. Yeah, Blicky had a nice run with the DRS into turn 12 on the outside. It was always difficult to get the move done there. Coming into the final lap, let's see, he's going to get a nice run on Joshua Lee on the back of this Williams. Josh moves to the inside. A little bit of contact there. Great defensive driving there from the Williams. You've got Saucity as well on the back of the McLaren, getting a good look at this battle. Coming into turn 4, will the McLaren dart up on the inside? No. Just tuck in behind there. So Aiden running away with this one. McJamie Dodge in P2. Farmer Sam, as you said, looks like he will come away with the podium as well. But these guys battling it out for P4. Joshua Lee, of course, with that extra 3 seconds of time pen. So Blicky, you think, might just sit behind him here and collect P4. It's all come to play for. Anyway, bring us home, Ash.
Yeah, the problem with Blicky sitting behind Joshua Lee is to collect P4. Sawzity doesn't have any time penalties, passing Joshua Lee as well. But Aiden Rizium's heading into turn 11. He took the lead and ran with it. An expertly managed race by the Hash driver, making the most of Websey's absence. He'll make inroads on that championship lead. All he needs to do is keep it clean through the final corner. He did have a moment on entry, but weaving towards the line. Aiden Riziums takes
Get
the
in
win
there.
at Australia. Round 12, McJamie barely crosses the line first over Farmer Sam. 700ths of a second. Blicky crosses the line fourth. Sawzity will finish fourth due to no penalties. Yusuf Goat able to keep it penalty free on those really slippery old hard tyres, able to move up into P5. Blicky P6, Sir Joshy P7. Checkered flag, P8, losing one position from his qualifying spot. Not the worst case scenario for him. Obviously, it could have been worse. KLX making some fairly decent inroads on his qualifying position, up 6 positions. Joshua Lee down 6. We'll have to see if a penalty can get removed for him. However, Josh Rizlocklin in P11 after a couple incidents this race. Apollo Pepsi up 2 positions. Sheldon in P13 up 5, and Tetris in P14 up 5. Your DNFs, your retirees are Finns, Tyler Mertz, PSB, Mr. Cool Cars, and Aussie 2K Goat.
I tell you what, P5. Have you ever seen a goat whispering to tyres in Albert Park? Yusuf, what a performance. Outstanding. To bring that car home in P5 with those faster cars behind him. Really magnificent job there. But Aiden, hats off to you, mate. Outstanding performance today. P1, just that opportunity at the end there with Finns and McJamie Dodge having a little bit of an incident just opened the door a little bit, and Aiden just took that and ran away with it. So convincing win there. He took pole, so outstanding day for that young man. McJamie Dodge, P2, and Farmer Sam. Believe that might be his first podium at Inters. We'll have to have a look, but congratulations to him as well. Sawzity in P4, really good drive. So both has up in P5, up in the top 5 today in Australia. So the boys will be very happy with that. Yusuf, as I said, P5. Blicky, outstanding return to Inters today. P6 and McLaren, devastated the team principal. We'll be very happy to see that. Sir Joshy as well, really good drive. And the kick Sauber, P7. Checkered flag, the team principal. Good damage control on those really old hard tyres to bring it home in P8. And KLX P9. Joshua Lee, Superture, the reserve there for Williams, rounding out the top 10. So, driver of the day, early call. I don't want to be biased. Sawzity's got to be a front runner with P13 on the grid up into P4, but also Farmer Sam, you'd have to say, to get from, I think it was P9 up into P3. That's an outstanding drive from him. Maybe even Aiden, but look, I'll probably have to stay out of that one, Ash, and I'll probably leave the driver of the day voting to you a bit later on, but would you like me to jump into the Discord chat and see if we can get some of these boys in here?
Yeah, that would be optimal.
All right, mate. I'll jump in there and I'll see you in a tick.
Just into the comms box. So we will wait for all these drivers to get into the commentary box. I'll hop in there in a second, but let's flick over to the F1 World Cars. So, I'll hop in the comms box and now. But, yeah, we'll just have to get to the showroom and wait for drivers to get in. So, first up, I believe, will be Farmer Sam. I can confirm I can hear you, just unmuted.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Alright. So we do have one of the drivers joining. It is Miazzi Gaming, otherwise known as Jamie Dodge, of course, the number one driver for Ferrari in Tier 1. We might get things started with you, Miazzi, while you're here. That was P2 for you today. Was really back and forth with the Haas driver there early on. Of course, Aiden, you guys P1 and P2 from the start. A couple of safety cars, of course, getting in the way, but fighting through the field after that second safety car on the fresher tyres. It looked inevitable from you guys, but there was a few incidents, of course, with fins in the Williams. You managed to steer clear of those and just bring it home in P2. So just talk over your race there and how it unfolded for you and that beautiful looking Ferrari.
Yeah, I thought it was a good race. Qualifying, I should have been on pole, but unfortunately my teammate Tetris, after I gave him tow, he wanted to repay the favour, and I lost a lot of time trying to get past him in Sector 1. Lost pole position because of that, but still got P2, which is important around here. Just stayed behind Aiden, we were swapping around. I thought that staying out would be better because the hards would just be terrible, and knowing Australia, there was definitely going to be another safety car in that race, so we were just going to stay out until then, and luckily for us, it came out at the perfect time. We all went into the pit, and it was all fine, but then the RBs of Checkered and Yusuf were in front, so getting past them was definitely crucial, and I had a bit of two incidents with Checkered where he forced me off track and then turned in on me under braking, but still got the move, and I didn't really lose too much. But when trying to get Yusuf, he turned in on me under the braking, and I got damaged. So from that point onwards, I knew I should just keep it in front of the cars behind me, and I should be fine. But Aiden was able to break DRS, and at that point I'm like, okay, I can only get P2 unless I work with Fins here, and hopefully he has the raw speed to catch Aiden. Unfortunately, he made a slightly few mistakes, a bit of kerfuffles here and there, and I was just not happy at the time because I knew we could have caught him if he didn't make those mistakes. And eventually, while trying to push too hard, he spun, which was pretty suboptimal. But apart from that, I thought I did pretty well considering the circumstances that I was put in. I also speak on the behalf of Aiden, who is currently having dinner. He thought it was a very well a race. It was a good race from him, and that he is Sigma. Those are his words, not mine.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Aiden, congratulations. But yeah, Meowsy, that was a really good debrief there of your race. I thought the strategy after you got damaged, just to hold on there, a bit of damage control like you said. P2 was probably the optimal result from there. So yeah, you did really well. Congratulations. It's much more points than Webbsy got today. Obviously, you're chasing him down in the overall championship in Tier 1. And of course, Ferrari on top in the overall. So Battle Cat will be very happy to see you on the podium yet again. So congratulations, mate, on another fantastic race. And we will see you next weekend. 2 weekends' time. Obviously, I think you guys will have the break week next weekend with the NRL being on Sunday. But we'll be back at Kota for round 13. So look forward to seeing you then.
I do not like that track. So
yeah,
looking forward to that.
Stinks, doesn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
All right, mate. We'll see you next time. And we do have Farmer Sam in here joining us as the winner of the race. Aiden won't be making it today. He's enjoying his victory dinner right now. Hope it's a steak and mash or something really Australian like that. Farmer Sam, congratulations on the podium today. You did pick up a time penalty, but it didn't play any effect at all at the end of the race with a couple of cars behind you with at least 3 seconds, a couple with 6 seconds in time penalties. It was a bit of a scrappy race, but you managed to qualify really well and hold on to that position, fairly well through the race. Really strong scrapping there through the middle of it, and you took advantage of everything that came your way. And as I said, that's a podium. Congratulations. Talk us through it, mate.
Oh, yeah. What a race, Started in Folly, got blocked, and got a 5-place grid penalty for making contact with Mr. Cool's cars. I literally just got blocked, had a moment, I lost grip of my wheel, let go, and made me go into him. It's probably a blessing in disguise to get that 5 play started down the grid, and
There
probably
you
stay
go.
out a bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, look, I did forget that little misdemeanor at the start of the race there, but like you said, sometimes in races and in life, we can go through things that are really shit at the time, but on reflection, can be a bit of a blessing in disguise and a bit of a growth point. So, outstanding there from you to overcome that bit of adversity and you know, get through the pack and up on the podium. So, I know your team principal Ray will be wrapped with that. And Ashley, do you want to add anything before we get out of here with Farmer Sam?
No, I think you summed that up particularly well. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like you weren't involved in too many incidents. Shut
No,
up,
I wasn't
bro! I
involved in
swear.
any, if anything. There was a time where me and Josh had a bit of a... And then, yeah, came home with P3, didn't want to risk another penalty or anything, so, yeah, quite happy with the result for once.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Congratulations.
Sorry, Ash, you go, man.
No, you're good. Got a wonderful friend over being absolutely amazing. But congratulations, Farmer Sam, on your P3. Good luck later tonight at Oz F1.
Yeah, thank you for that. Hopefully I can get something similar in Oz F1 tonight, but see how we go.
Yeah, well done, Farmer Sam. Yeah, a bit of a warm-up here for you and then on to Oz F1, so good luck in that one, mate, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for Kota.
Too easy, boys. Cheers for that.
All right, mate. Ashton, so yeah, that's going to wrap up Tier 1 in Australia. Today, for the boys, it was a bit of a scrappy race, but a lot of really good racing as well. Lot of clean moves and few incidents, you know, as always, with the boys racing so hard and coming towards the end of the season, you know, every point's vital, especially for the racing balls. Of course, you saw Joseph and Checkered Flag being called out there for just being a little bit scrappy, but, you know, you've got to expect that when those boys are pushing for the overall championship. But yeah, I really enjoyed that race. Thanks for joining us today, Ash. And what were your thoughts before we get out of here?
Pretty much what you said. Some amazing clean racing, especially in the midfield today. Was a joy to watch, and hopefully we can see it rinsed and repeated in 2 weeks' time, and hopefully next weekend on Friday and Saturday for Tier 2 and 3.
Well said, Ash. All right, well, that'll wrap it up tonight for Inters Racing League. We thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we will see you, as Ashton said, Friday night for Tier 3 in Melbourne.